Welcome to Enchanted Tales from the Moonlit Forest, a place where silence speaks, shadows listen, and the moon never asks questions. In this forest, nothing chases you, nothing pulls. The path opens only when your breath slows. Each tale is a quiet lantern meant to guide you not forward, but inward. So close your eyes, let the trees hold your worries, let the stillness lead. You're not lost, you've simply arrived. Story 1. The Path That Waited for You. Some paths can't be found by looking, they appear only when you stop searching. Avery wandered deep into the woods one dusky evening, trying to outrun a noise in her chest, the kind of buzzing silence that comes when your thoughts talk too much. She walked quickly, as if answers could be chased like fireflies, but the more she walked, the more the forest stayed the same. Trees stood still, air hung heavy, no trail opened, no sign showed the way. Frustrated, Avery stopped beside a fallen log and sat down. "I don't know where I'm going," she whispered. The forest didn't reply, not with words, but the wind hushed, a bird didn't sing, even her heartbeat softened. She closed her eyes, just for a moment, just to rest. And when she opened them, it was there. A narrow path, glowing faintly silver, winding into the trees like a ribbon of quiet moonlight. It hadn't appeared with a sound. It hadn't announced itself. It had simply waited. Avery stood. She didn't ask where it led. She didn't need to, because something inside her stepped forward before her feet did. And as she walked, the path lit up beneath each step, not ahead, not behind, just exactly where she was.
The road will find you when you slow. No need to ask, no need to know. Each quiet step a soft hello. The path begins where you let go.
Story 2. The Fox Who Knew Your Name. In the moonlit forest, names weren't spoken, they were felt. Jan wandered among the trees, not sure why he had come or what he was looking for. The forest was quiet, but not empty. It felt like something was watching, but not with danger. With knowing. That's when he saw the fox. Its fur shimmered silver, as if it had been dipped in starlight. It didn't move toward him, didn't run, just stood on the path, watching. June opened his mouth to speak, but the fox tilted its head, almost kindly, and he stopped. Words weren't needed. Instead, the fox turned and walked. Not hurried, not slow, just steady. June followed. Through ferns, across moss, past sleeping streams. The fox never looked back, but June never felt lost. He didn't ask where they were going. Somehow the path felt shaped just for him. After a long time, or no time at all, they reached a circle of white stones. In the middle was a single leaf, gently glowing. The fox nudged it forward. June bent to touch it, and a memory returned. A moment from long ago, when someone had spoken his name, not in frustration, not in expectation, but in love. Soft, simple, real. He hadn't heard it like that in years. The fox sat down beside him, still silent, still knowing. Jin smiled, not because he understood everything, but because he didn't have to. He stood and the fox brushed its tail gently against his hand. Then it was gone, but Jin walked out of the forest lighter, as if someone had reminded him who he truly was.
No words were said, yet all was clear. You've been seen and held right here. You are known without a claim. Even silence speaks your name.
Story 3: The Tree That Remembered. In the heart of the moonlit forest stood a tree that remembered everything. Its bark held stories, not carved, but absorbed, like breath. Its roots ran through forgotten feelings, and its branches swayed with memories long since let go. When Leona entered the clearing, the tree didn't move, but something in her did. She didn't know why her steps slowed, why her hands trembled when she reached out to touch the bark, but the moment she did, the forest held its breath, and then it came, a laugh she thought she'd lost, the smell of warm bread, a song her mother used to hum when brushing her hair. Tears welled up, but they weren't sad, just full. She leaned her head against the trunk. "How do you remember?" The tree didn't answer, not with words, but its leaves rustled like pages turning, and she felt it, her moments, gently stored, never judged, never erased. A time she said the wrong thing, still here. A hug she meant to give but didn't, held gently in a knot of wood. "It's all still here," she whispered. The wind shifted. A leaf drifted down and landed in her palm, shaped like a heart that had been broken and healed. Leona smiled through the weight in her chest. "Thank you for holding it when I couldn't." She walked away lighter, though nothing had been taken from her, only returned. And behind her the tree stood silent, remembering.
All you felt is safe and sound in roots below and leaves around. Your story lives where branches bend. You were never lost.
Story 4. The Owl Who Collected Secrets. There was an owl in the moonlit forest who never spoke, but knew everything unsaid. She lived high in a hollowed oak, nestled between branches heavy with silence. Each night, she flew across the treetops, collecting secrets that drifted like mist from the hearts of those who couldn't speak them. Some were small, a missed goodbye, a wish held in fear. Some were sharp, words never spoken out of pride or pain, but all were safe with her. One evening, Callum wandered into the forest, carrying something heavy. It wasn't in his hands or on his back, it sat behind his ribs like a stone wrapped in thorns. He walked until his steps softened, until the trees stopped asking questions, until the owl landed silently on a branch above him. He looked up. She looked down. "I don't know how to say it," he whispered. The owl blinked slowly. "But I think I need it to be known." He didn't speak louder. He didn't explain. He just breathed, and the forest listened. A tiny thread of silver light slipped from his chest, drifting upward like steam. The owl reached out her wing and caught it, tucked it gently into her feathers, and for the first time, Callum felt lighter. The owl didn't fly away. She just stayed a moment longer, not waiting for more, just honoring what had been shared. And as Callum turned to walk back through the trees, he didn't feel exposed. He felt witnessed.
Let the hush carry your truth, what you've hidden since your youth. When you breathe, the burden breaks. A quiet owl always wakes.
Story 5. The River That Refused to Rush. There was a river in the moonlit forest that never hurried. While other streams danced and babbled and chased stones, this river moved like breath. Slow, deep, unbothered. It didn't reflect the stars, it held them. May came upon it while running, not from anything, but towards something she couldn't name. She stumbled to the riverbank, panting, heart full of questions, but the river didn't meet her panic. It simply moved, softly. She waited for it to speak, to sparkle, to show something magical. It didn't. It just flowed, like time that had stopped caring about clocks. Annoyed, May threw a pebble in. It barely made a sound. The ripples came and went. "What are you for?" she asked. The river didn't reply. She sat down, arms crossed, and waited. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. At some point she stopped fidgeting, her breath slowed, the trees stopped leaning in, the river became her rhythm. And then she saw it. Not a creature, not a vision, just her own reflection, calm, whole, here. The river had given her nothing, and in that nothing she had found everything. When she stood, her feet didn't rush, her heart didn't race. She nodded to the water, and it nodded back. with a silence that said, "You finally arrived."
No need to hurry, no need to try. Just let the stillness pass you by. The flow is slow, the moment wide. The calm you seek is deep inside. The calm you seek is deep inside. The calm you seek is deep inside.
Story 6, The Lantern Made of Ferns. Deep in a clearing, where moonlight barely touched the ground, something glowed. Not bright, not loud, but steady. It was a lantern, woven from living ferns, each frond soft and green, pulsing with gentle light. Aaron found it by accident, or maybe the forest led them there. The lantern didn't float or flicker. It didn't light the path ahead. Instead, when Aaron touched it, the glow moved inward, sliding into their chests like a quiet breath. They blinked. "It's not showing me anything." The forest rustled slightly, like a shrug. Still holding the lantern, Aaron closed their eyes. Inside was no picture, no vision, only a warmth where doubt had lived, a sense of remembering, not of knowledge, but of trust. They had come looking for guidance. What they found was themselves. The lantern's light didn't brighten the woods. It softened the fear. And when Arden opened their eyes again, the forest hadn't changed. But walking forward didn't feel so uncertain. The lantern made no promises. It simply stayed close, not to show the way, but to remind Arden that they already carried it.
You hold the light you thought you missed. It flickers soft inside your chest. You are the glow, the gentle turn, a quiet flame of fern by fern. A fern by
Story 7. The Clearing That Sang Back. There was a clearing in the moonlit forest that didn't echo sound. It echoed feeling. You couldn't find it by shouting. You had to arrive quietly with something your heart was ready to say, even if your lips stayed closed. Lena found it on a night she didn't know she was lost. The trees opened around her like a breath being held. The air was still but expectant. She stepped into the center and paused. Her chest was tight, but she didn't know why. There were no words, just a weight. She sat down in the soft moss and whispered nothing. And the clearing sang not with melody or words, but with sound that came from everywhere and nowhere, like a lullaby hummed by the stars. It wrapped around her like warm wind. It didn't ask what was wrong. It didn't try to fix. It simply said, "We hear you." Lena's shoulders trembled. Tears came, the kind that rise not from pain, but from finally being allowed to feel. She didn't explain. She didn't need to. The forest answered with tones so soft they melted her edges, and for the first time in a long time, she didn't feel like she had to hold everything together. When Lena left the clearing, it was still quiet, but her heart hummed.
You didn't speak, and yet it heard. No cry, no name, no single word. The forest sang, not to impress, but simply to say yes.
Story 8. The Moon That Waited. At the highest edge of the moonlit forest stood a small hill where nothing grew. No trees, no moss, just soft earth and sky. That's where the moon waited, not floated, not watched. Waited. Tylee climbed the hill slowly, not because it was steep, but because something in her told her to go gently, as if rushing might break the moment before it began. She didn't know what she was coming for. No question pressed her chest, no storm swirled her thoughts. Just a sense that something was there. At the top, she found silence wide enough to rest in. The moon hung low and round, full of a kind of knowing that asked nothing. It didn't glow brighter when she arrived, didn't whisper secrets. It simply was. Talia sat down, knees pulled to her chest. The moon stayed. No advice. No magic. No answers. And that, somehow, was what made her breathe deeper than she had in days. It did not tell her she was right or wrong or special. It just existed beside her. And in that presence, she felt something loosen. Not a knot exactly, but the need to tie everything into one. She lay back on the hill. The moon didn't leave. It never had.
No need to answer, no need to ask. The moon just sits and holds the task. It waits for you without a sound, a kind of love
Thank you for walking the forest paths. You've met rivers that pause, owls that listen, trees that remember, and moments that don't need fixing. Maybe you didn't find answers, but maybe you no longer need them. This forest remains, not on maps, but in the space between thoughts. Come back when you forget how to be soft. The moon will wait.
No need to hurry, no need to drive. Just let the stillness pass you by. The flow is slow, the moment wide. The calm you seek is deep inside. You hold the light you thought you missed. It flickers soft inside your chest. You are the glow, the gentle turn, a quiet flame of fern by fern. Hold the light you thought you missed. It flickers soft inside your chest. You are the glow, the gentle turn, a quiet flame of fern by fern. You didn't speak, and yet it hurt. No cry just sits and holds the task. It waits for you without a sound, the kind of love that won't be found. The road will find you when you slow. No need to ask, no need to know. Each quiet step, a soft hello. The path begins where you let go. No words were said, yet all was clear. You've been seen and held right here. You are known without a claim. Even silence speaks your name. is safe and sound in roots below and leaves around. Your story